The Super Yummy Kitchen!
Hello guys, and welcome back to the Super Yummy Kitchen. The sun's out, the sky is blue, and all I want to do is cook with you.
We're with Chef Andrew today, and he is making squashy mac and cheese.
We're cooking these meals with our families,
Learning new skills and having loads of fun.
Here are all the ingredients you need. Joining us all the way from Dublin in Ireland is Chef Karl.
It's great to see you, Chef Karl.
Hey everyone, my name's Karl. This is my family chef Byron, my son. He's an apprentice for today. And today we're going to make squashy mac and cheese.
Did you know Dublin was founded by the Vikings in the 9th century? Now it covers over 44 square miles.
Let's get cooking! Make sure you wash your hands really well.
Preheat your oven to 180 degrees or gas mark 5.
So the first thing that I've done is cut my butternut squash in half, and the first thing you notice is that amazing colour with these weird and wacky seeds. I cut it in half so it's a little bit easier to deal with. You need to take the skin off the outside first, and I'm using my trusty friend, the speed peeler. You press on quite hard and you draw the peeler along the butternut squash. So we need to peel the top, and then it's got like a kind of roundy part at one end. So we just do that separately. And that's it, that's half the butternut squash peeled, and we just need to now do it again on the other half.
Chop your squash into nice big chunks, but be careful of your fingers.
Remember, we don't want to keep the seeds, so make sure they're kept aside.
Then peel your onions, chop them as well, and add them to your squash.
If you have someone to help you, they can grate the cheese while you're chopping the veggies.
So now we've got our prepped butternut squash and our onion in the bowl. I'm just going to add some garlic. So I've just taken the ends off and peeled them. I'm just going to keep them quite chunky again. And now we've got all our ingredients almost ready to be popped into the oven. But I'm just going to add a small amount of oil. I'm just going to pop a little bit in there. The great thing about doing it in a bowl is we can actually move the oil around so that everything is coated, and that'll help during the cooking, and it means we don't use as much oil, which is really, really important.
Pour everything into a roasting tray and make sure it's nice and even. Then pop it in the oven for 20 minutes.
So let's wash our hands, Byron, clean down.
Then we can start our pasta cooking.
Cook the pasta for about 12 to 15 minutes, but keep an eye on it.
So now while the pasta's cooking, let's prepare the seiji. I'm just going to finely chop them into almost like little green slices. So now we can start to prep the kale as well, which is a real crispy treat. So first of all we need to do is just pop the kale into a bowl. Then we're going to add a small amount of oil and just a tiny little splash of light soy sauce. And then now a really fun bit, of course I've just washed my hands, we're going to massage the kale. So we're going to scrunch it up, and this really helps. We're kind of making sure that everything is coated and delicious, and rub it in.
Spread the kale onto a baking tray. Try to keep it well spaced.
And now that's ready to be popped into the oven about 10 minutes before you want to serve it at a hot oven, but keep an eye on it because you don't want to overcook it because it goes quite bitter.
Drain your pasta but keep the water, and we can use this to make our stock. Give it a good stir.
And now we get our butternut squash, our onion, our garlic out the oven, ready to make the wonderful sauce.
How does that smell, Byron? Yeah.
So I'm now just going to pop that into a bowl and then puree it with a little bit of the silky stock that I made a little bit earlier on. I'm going to use a handheld blender, but you can use anything you want, a food processor or a cup blender, whatever works for you. You need to do this while the butternut squash and the onions and garlic are still warm. And now I'm going to add the silky stock. And then start to blend with the hand blender. Now that's kind of, it's not totally smooth, so I quite like a little bit of texture in there.
Add your mustard and your sage. Stir it in. Anything else, Chef Andrew?
Just a little bit, 10 grams of melted butter, just to add a little bit of richness. Now it's time to combine those two ingredients, the pasta and the sauce. So I've got my drained pasta, and now I'm going to add that lovely garlicky, seiji butternut squash sauce.
So now we're going to mix the puree with the pasta and throw it into a baking dish. So if you're all wondering what jersey Byron's wearing, tell them Byron.
Dublin.
Dublin, that's his Gaelic football jersey, which is his favourite sport.
Mix it all up really well so that the sauce gets right into that pasta, and then we can make the topping.
Now, I think the best part of a mac is the crispy topping. So what we do in our house is we save all the crusts, all the bits of bread that get left at the end. I've got a lot of those there, and they're actually nutty and wholemealy as well. So they're seedy and crunchy, and they make amazing breadcrumbs. You can freeze them, make them. Don't ever buy them, they're brilliant. Now I'm just gonna pop these crusts into the food processor. And I'm going to pulse it because I don't really want super fine breadcrumbs. I kind of want different sizes. So now I've pulsed all our crusts, and I've got a lovely combination of different textures, sort of powdery bread and chunky bread. Now I want the same amount of breadcrumbs to cheese, so I'm just gonna, you can do this by eye, it's no problem at all. Now I've got two cheeses. I've got parmesan, which I've grated finely, so you can actually use the pre-bought grated or the powdered parmigiano, whichever one you want. And I've got a little bit of cheddar as well. Good old cheddar. And also, I'm gonna pop a little bit of fresh sage in there too. About a teaspoonful. I'm gonna mix all those things together.
And Byron's going to mix the breadcrumbs and the cheese together, yeah? And then we're nearly there.
Will I just use my hand or spoon?
Yeah, use your hands. Get stuck in there.
Once this is all nicely mixed, you can pour your pasta back into the tray and cover it with the topping.
Make sure to get it nice and even, then it will be ready to go into the oven. Bake it for 20 minutes in the middle of the oven until it's hot and golden and super yummy.
How are the kale crisps, Chef Andrew?
So the kale crisps are ready. Just be careful when you take them off the tray because they're very, very fragile. I just need to get the mac and cheese, the lovely squashy butternut mac and cheese out the oven. Oh, fantastic. So just take a really nice spoonful. Oh, I wish you could smell it.
Super creamy, super cheesy. Oh, check that out. That looks delicious.
Just on the side there, let's just pop some of the kale crisps. So there we have wonderful butternut squash mac and cheese with kale crisps. Absolutely scrummy. Make sure you're kind to people out there and enjoy your cooking. In fact, happy cooking.
This version of mac and cheese uses butternut squash to make the creamy sauce. Using this helps to lower the fat and salt, whilst also adding vitamin A and C.
That's great, it's really creamy. Then we added the cheese on top instead of in the sauce. Why is this, Georgie?
It's so we can taste the cheese, but not add too much. Now Oscar, can you remember what the calcium in the cheese and the carbohydrates in the pasta does for our bodies?
Calcium keeps our bones and teeth strong, and carbohydrates give us lots of energy.
Perfect, Oscar!
Don't forget to check out the fibre worksheet. It was super fun! Next time we are with Chef Andrew and he is cooking fish finger burritos.
And joining us from London is Chef Dan.
And and it's simply delicious.
And super yummy. Brought to you by Chartwells.
See you next time.